Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is June 4th, 2012. We're going to go over the trades that we took in the live trading room this morning and all the other trades that set up that we didn't take or whatever the case may be. I'll show you the results to start with. We had a rough morning this morning. I just closed a 6-point trade short that we took in the live trading room this morning. We shorted up here at 73 and it dropped down here to 67. I just closed out of that a second ago and I'm down 1 point per contract. Is that right? Yeah. I'm down 1 point per contract from the morning session. Okay. Yeah, 4 ticks. That's on the ES. On the NQ, I had 1 losing trade and 1 partial win. That got me to minus 6 ticks total. And on the YM, I had 2 wins and 1 loss. The wins were just small. It came back and stopped me out at break even plus a tick. And the loss was a full 7 ticks. That's what got me minus 5 ticks over there. Alright, that is the results for the morning. Now let me go over the trades. Okay. One of the questions was why did I close out the position? Because it had pretty much zeroed me out on the day. And if you look left, way over here, 1267. That's why. Okay. Originally we were looking at 69.5 right here. Once we got through that, and it got through that pretty quick. And once we got through that, it dropped right down here to 67. And that happened to close out my position from, my 3 trades from this morning that didn't work out on the ES. Okay. Yes, you can use the indicators to close positions, but let me keep typing your questions in, Kevin, and I will answer them. Okay. But let me go through the recap first here. Okay. All right. This was the NQ this morning. Let's see. When it opened up, it really opened up. It went way up, and then it came back and it went way down. By the time it got over here, you can see there was no divergence down here, so there's no opportunity to trade. Same thing here and here and here. Right in here there was a little bit of divergence, but it didn't pull back far enough. Over here there was divergence, but again it didn't pull back far enough. That was this one right here. I'll blow it up a little bit now. I wanted to cover these big moves here because there were no trades available in there. Even right here, it didn't pull back and test the BBC, so we didn't look to get short in there. All right. It started moving up in here. By the time it gave the up close right here, we were within a tick or two of the MA1. We didn't take that trade. We let it move up right here. It didn't actually test the BBC, so we didn't take the long. And these things, this is what it was like all morning. It was just really difficult. Nothing was setting up exactly right all morning. All right. Finally, over here, we got a setup, and I missed it right here. Yeah, we got the bullish cross of the MA1 over the BBC. Price pulled back down, tested the BBC, gave the up close. I missed this trade, but that gave a nice profit. See, all of these in here, nothing was setting up just right. That was pretty close. This one over here, what did we do? We went short right here. Even this one didn't set up perfectly. The one that I actually took, I shorted it over here, I think. I didn't short it. I didn't short it right there. I shorted it over here. Because the cycle was moving up a little bit, and we got our down close. I missed the initial down close, and I got in on the second one. And by then the cycle was already pretty far up. It wasn't the ideal trade, and it stopped me out. All right. It reversed. Right in here was a pretty good opportunity. I didn't take it. I don't remember why I didn't take it, but I didn't. You could have gotten long right in here, and depending on your risk, that would have worked out pretty well. Let's see. Over here, we had a bearish cross. It came up, hit the BBC, gave a down close. There was an opportunity to short right there. Depending on your risk, that would have worked out. I missed it for whatever reason. I'm just scrolling through here. I thought I took another trade in here. I did, but the end of the morning session was right here. And it was really messy the whole morning. The YM was about the same way. All right. Yeah, let me do the ES. The ES was really messy too. This last trade that I took in the live trading room this morning over here. I'll get to that in just a moment. The first trade that I took, I've written down everywhere except for this last one. Let me just put here on this last one. +6. I've written down the maximum profit potential from each trade that I took. Okay, this one had 1 point max profit. This one had a half point. This one had 1 3/4 points. This one had a half point, and this one had 6. Now, I took the 6 points on this one. I got stopped out on that one, and that one. And I took break even on that one. So this 6-tick gain here covered the stop out on that one, and that one. And yet somehow I'm down 4 ticks. I think because I didn't move my stop when because I used a market order, an MIT order to get in, not a market order, an MIT order to get in. It slipped me 1 tick on the entry, and that made my stop go down 1 tick. So I ended up, still doesn't explain why I had 4 ticks slip. But the 3 ticks is explainable. On each one of these stop outs, my stop ended up actually being 9 ticks instead of 8. And on this one, I must have slipped an extra tick on that one. I thought I slipped just 1 tick. But anyway, nevertheless, we had, right here, we had the MA1 cross the BBC, came up here, and we took the first pullback down to the BBC. When it took that, typically I would have moved my stop up to break even after 1 point profit in the trade, and in that case I would have gotten a break even here. But I decided this morning after this big run up, I thought it was going to keep going up to the zone, which is right up above. So I decided to let it go. And it turned right around on us. And then when it came back down here to the middle, I thought, again, it didn't matter anyway. I decided that I was just going to let my stops be and not move my stops up. Okay? And so I was going to risk 2 points on the trade. I was just going to accept the risk and let the trade go. In this case, it only went a half a point in my favor, and then it turned around and stopped me out for -2. In this case here, it went 7 ticks. It almost got the full 2 points, which is what I was looking for on the trade, what I was anticipating on the trade. And this one, I took a break even on when it came back down. It started to come back down. It failed here at the MA1. We didn't get a close up above the MA1 on either of these bars. That was a pretty ominous sign. Had I left it alone, I think I would have stopped out right over here had I left it alone. But I took a break even on that one, or I think I slipped and got -1 tick. Over here, we went long on the pullback down to the BBC right here. This went a half a point in our favor, and again, it turned around and stopped us out. Now, once the MA1 dropped below the BBC and pulled back up to it right here, I shorted, and I got short at 73, and I did move my stop once we ended the morning session. I moved my stop to break even, and when we came in here in the afternoon session, I just closed the trade out, looking left. Originally, I was thinking we're going to get down here to 69.5. We did get down to 69.5, but we went right through it, so I let it go. And then I was looking left. This was +6 points, which takes care of this one, and this one. And I decided to take the trade off because I was going to be doing a recording. You can see right now it still would have gone another point here. So 7 points. I'll change this at the end when it's done moving down. But the total possible from the entries this morning was 1, 2, 3, 7, 5, 9.75 points. I got 6 out of this one, and I stopped out on 3 of them. All right. That was my morning trading the ES. Now let's go over here onto the YM. The YM had a few opportunities this morning that I took. I got long on this one right here. All right. Let me blow it up a little bit so you can see it a little better. Price pulled back, tested the BBC, and gave an up close right here. Gave an up close and a move up. I moved my stop up to break even when it got up to the MA1 right here. You know, I had, 5 or 6 ticks profit in the trade, and I moved my stop up to break even. It came back down. It was actually break even plus a tick. It came back down and got me out there. On the way down here, there were no opportunities that were good for trading. We had bearish divergence in a couple of spots, but we didn't have pullbacks to the BBC. All right, over here, we had a bullish cross. Right here, when it was pulling back and testing the BBC, we had bullish divergence, but we didn't get an up close until down here, so we weren't going to take that. Then we got our bearish cross. It came back up, tested the BBC, gave a down close. I did short right here, and when we got below the MA1, I moved my stop to right above the MA1. It got me out there with a little bit of profit. The next trade that I actually took was over here. We had a bearish cross. Price came back up, tested the BBC. I got short in here, and I got 1 tick profit on that, I think, once it was down here on top of the MA1, and it wasn't going through it. I got out with 1 tick profit on that. The next trade that I took was over here. Not an optimal trade, but it was pretty good. Price came up, tested the BBC, gave a down close. Again, the MA1 held thing right in place, and it stopped me out for -7 ticks. Since then, there was bearish divergence in here, but no opportunities. You see how the cycle's kind of hanging in the middle right here? That's just really messy stuff. Right here was the next best trade, and that just happened. Right in there. All right. That was the next best trade right there. All right. So it is what it is. I got a little profit there, a little profit there. I lost 7 ticks there, and I missed this one. That was my morning trading today. It was really kind of complicated to trade because the setups weren't happening exactly right. The ES setups, of course, those are pretty straightforward, and they were happening just right. And unfortunately, they didn't work out right until this last one. Now, this last one, had I stayed in it, I'd be up a tick right now, roughly. But either way, guys, not every morning is going to be a great morning, and today was not a great morning so far. The day's not over. The day is young. All right. That's it. I'm going to wrap up the recording right here, and actually, no, I'm going to answer Kevin's question. Do I use the indicators to close positions ever? Yes, particularly on the NQ, the YM, the ES now. Usually I'd have a 2-point bracket on the ES, so I would just have my target at 2 points and my stop at 2 points, and I'd take the 2 points. But that said, I currently don't have a target on the ES. I do have a 2-point stop, but I don't have a target. So that's why I let that last trade run. I was running it. Let me show you this again. I was running it this time down to the 69.5 area first, and then I was going to see how it reacted at the 69.5 area. And then the next stop was going to be down here at 67, looking left. The next stop was going to be here at 67, and after 67, it should get down to the zone here at 62. All right. There's a couple of other really short-term ones here. Yes, we do doing. There's a couple of other really short-term ones there, but we should get down there to 62. That's where we anticipate it going now. Okay. And that's pretty much it for the morning. You can trail your stop down behind the MA1. You can trail it behind the BBC. You can do that here, or you can do it over here as well. When you have an opportunity to trail a stop. Let me blow this up. Okay. Another thing that you can do is when you get into a trade that's using divergence, you anticipate this green line getting into the cycle, so you can stay in the trade until it gets into the cycle. Like over here, for instance, had you shorted this right here, or had I shorted this right here, I could have just stayed in that trade until the green line got into the cycle. Now, right there, obviously, it's not that great, but once it did that, I would have been anticipating a move on the other side of the MA1. And so if I put my stop on the other side of the MA1 there, it would have stopped me out down here. All right. Now, in hindsight, this is really easy. When the market's moving, it's going to take some screen time to really be able to do that. All right. Screen time and focus. I trade 3 markets, at least 3 markets in the morning session. I don't recommend that everybody do that. I recommend that everybody pick a market, make money with it, add another market if you want to. That's what I would recommend. Okay. Now, that said, I think all the questions are answered. So I will stop the recording here and